Hey YouTube, Mike the Rinnai guy here. How are we all doing today? I hope we all had a safe and productive week and a very Merry Christmas and a happy holiday to all of you out there and your families. Alrighty, well today, as you can see, I'm not wearing my Rinnai shirt. It's quite cold here in Florida. It's 29 degrees and all we need is a little precipitation, and I think we might have snow. That would be a first in many years. All right, today video is on actually the tools that I have. I know I've been doing a tool, one or two little reveal at the end of my videos, and I've had a lot of questions from plumbers and from techs. You know, exactly what should you carry, what should you have? Well, if you call Rinnai and you wait for a tech to come online, you'll hear someone, you know, the message say, be in front of the unit with a Phillips screwdriver, a manometer. So let's just say a Phillips screwdriver, a manometer, and a multimeter. Well, I gotta say, I love the product, and as you could tell, but you're way off. What you see here, besides my, well, yes, the coffee could be also part of the deal, is the tools that I have used for servicing a Rinnai. Now, these are the tools that I keep in my garage so that if I have to go out in my private truck, I have pretty much what I need to service a Rinnai. Now, what I carry on my truck, there's actually a whole nother bag. So I have two here. There's a whole nother bag because I do service like stoves and furnaces and boilers and stuff like that. So what you see here, there's no fluff. Everything here has been used on a repair at least once, if not multiple times. Okay, so we're going to go through it, but you know, not one by one, let's just say. Okay, first thing that you're going to need is your coffee. First thing that you're going to need is lighting. You need lighting, especially when you're indoors. I mean, you could be an outdoor unit and you could be there at night. So we carry headlamp, at least two of them. We carry these Milwaukee magnetic and the angle, so they'll magnetize from the backside. And it, like if there's two units, we can put that on that unit and shoot it into the next unit. Then we even have these magnetic ones that'll actually clip on something, adjustable. There's a battery, a lithium-ion battery, and everything that we have is rechargeable. And then we can go as far as these type of lights, the 12 volt, the 18 volt, the ones that flip up, they move around, or even the tower lights we'll bring in, because lighting is very important. All right, we're going to go through the basic stuff. Penetrating oil. Now, I like Lucas penetrating oil, WD-40, Rust Blaster, stuff like that. Any type of penetrating oil. Second thing is Teflon tape and compound. You might have to remove the hot and cold water line and pull down the inlet water or the outlet hot water, and then you'll have to put the unions back on. So, or the gas compound. You're going to need Teflon tape and compound. And then some rags. All right? Pretty much plain and simple. Okay. Your parts box. I've shown this many a times. You've seen the big Sustainer one, but this one I carry here and I will bring it with me. It's got O-rings, it's got an igniter, it's got flame rod, it's got the 3-amp fuses, it's got machine screws, the short and long screws, it's got clips for the heat exchanger, it's got thermistor clips, it's got clips for thermal fuses, It's got plastic tubing, it's got thermistors, it's got a little bit of everything in it. Things that I basically will carry or bring, that I would pretty much need if I have to repair something. And I also carry one regular filter. Now we're going to go over these filters at the end. I'm going to show you something with these filters. Now, of course, you're going to need a manometer and a multimeter. Now, I like field piece, bolt, the clamp on, and it's a dual port manometer. I carry an extra 9-volt battery, or 2, because you don't want to be on the job site and one of your meters craps out and you have no battery. Now, for the multimeter, I carry a pair of leads, standard leads, but I also carry, these are micro pin leads. So they're basically almost the size of a needle. And they will get into the back of the plugs. So you just remove this, remove this protective cap, and you pop this right back on, and now you have the micro lead on there. And I keep the micro leads separate, and I keep the standard, because a lot of times you go in, you got to check voltage right away. This is good for checking voltage. These little micro leads, and of course I do have, you know, 2, black and a red, and they're the micro ones. They're like almost like a pin. Okay, now another thing is the long screwdriver, long Phillips screwdriver, and the one that is laser etched. I don't know how well you could see the tip, but the tips are laser etched, and there's grooves in there. You give them a little shot, and these things will take out pretty much every screw. Then I carry a multitude of other screwdrivers, ones that have extension piece on it. And of course, you know, I love Wera. They're a great service tool. They're very well made. They're not expensive. So I carry a multitude of different screwdriver sets with longer bits that have Allen, Torx, regular, and Phillips, all in nice little cases. I carry a set of titanium tip with an extension. I carry a tiny little stubby screwdriver to get into tight places. I even have, let's see, here we go. Nope, that's not it, this is it. I have a ratchet with Allen, Torx, and Phillips that has a tiny little ratchet. Now this ratchet here, and when I show you the tool check, which I've showed you before, is pretty much the #1 tool that I go to. I carry an angle ratcheting screwdriver, again with bits in the head, Torx and Phillips. I carry a set of micro screwdrivers. See, you might not have to work on, but I work on the Rinnai boilers, and there's very small little push plugs that wires go into. So I need to make those wires up on the Demand Duos. They has little sensor wires. I carry a SAE set of Allen, a metric set of Allen, and then a stubby set of metric Allen. I carry a heat gun, check the temperature. Let's see, I got that. Okay, now, ratchet set. This thing here is Tool Check Plus. So this set here is pretty much the best thing that I've ever bought, and I have actually 3 of them. So you pop this open, you have every set of bit from Torx, Allen, the adapter for the small tiny screwdriver, the ratchet, the extension, and then a socket from 5.5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 12, and 13. And then the adapter for it for either the screwdriver or the ratchet. Then I carry a little larger set of 1/4 inch that has a pivot head. And again, I can put the adapter. It's got long extensions. Now, my extensions. I carry a long extension for a screw bit. I carry a standard extension that I can make this even longer. And then I carry a locking extension for my screwdrivers, so I can lock that in there. This here is also something that I use a lot, a telescoping magnet to grab those screws that have fell down into the chassis. Another ratcheting screwdriver, a flex head, so it's got a flexible shaft. Now, like something like this, I probably use only once. A multitude of knives, different knives, razors. I carry a large joker, but then I also have an extra large because I do have plumbing tools on my private truck. So, you know, 10 or 14, a large pair of channel locks. You're going to need that to take the water lines off. Okay, the manometer. The manometer is probably going to be your most important piece. Now, field piece, again, it has a magnet. It'll hang on the side of the tankless, just like this. The multimeter has a magnet. And let me just grab the right ones here. You pretty much are going to need two different hoses. Now, these hoses are 6 feet long. One hose has a 1/8 inch national pipe thread bobbed onto the hose, and then this other end will go into the manometer. Now, for the older style, you're going to have an Allen key inside of the gas port, whether it's in the inlet side or up top in the manifold. So once you shut the gas off, you're going to need to screw this on, put it in the manometer, and do your testing, wherever it's for inlet static or for high-low fire coming out of the manifold. On the newer style, it's an actual screw. Excuse me. It's an actual screw with a washer in it. So it's a Phillips screw or a 5mm. Yeah, why can't that socket? So what's going to do is once you shut the gas off, you take the screw out, and then there's going to be a housing. This cone right here fits over the housing, nice and snug, but you can remove it pretty easy, so you don't have to fight with it. And then this end goes into the manometer, and now you can check your pressures. It's a little easier than having to screw that piece in and then unscrew it when you're done. You can just remove it, put the screw in, put it into another port, and you're done. Now, with a dual port manometer, you're going to need other hoses with Y fittings in it so that you could use the 2 ports, but this is for something different. You're only going to need really those 2 hoses. And then my multimeter is also a temperature, so I have a temperature probe if I want to put it in something to take temperature. But as you can see, it never left the bag, but I just leave it in my bag. All right, now as far as pliers, I carry, well, let's get this over here, we can see better. Besides now I like Knipex and of course Wera and Weir. So I carry a set of small and medium pump pliers. And then I have a small pair of cutters. I have a medium pair of side cutters. I have a large pair that'll cut pretty large wire. And then I have an angled pair of side cutters. Then pretty much one of the most important is needle nose pliers, wire strippers, and a crimping tool for stake-ons. So this here will crimp on the different size crimp-ons or stake-ons. And then a pair of linesman's pliers. Now if you have the Milwaukee pair, they actually are crimpers down here, so you can save one step, but I like to have a separate pair. And what I love about these VitaPro bags, for one, there's a 5-year warranty on them. There's they're just made so well. There's so many pockets in these things that you could carry so much in them. And they zipper up. The plastic on the bottom prevents wicking if there's a little water on the ground. So they're just good bags. I own about 33 of them. I own a bag for everything. I just like the bags. I've had them for years. Okay, now you need to have with you a controller. Now, when you work on a unit that's outside, it's waterproof, but the controller is inside. So if you're especially if you're by yourself and you need to test the unit, it's a lot of running back and forth and check code. So what I've done, and I'm actually going to do a video on making one of these, but it's going to be a little different than this one. What I did was I took a regular MC91 controller. So you see here on the bottom, it's just a standard MC91 controller. Same controller that you get mounted in the front door of an interior, or you get this one like this that you put inside the house and the electrician runs a wire. But what I did was I put 2 stake-ons on the end, so it's easier for me to put the wires on. And then I mounted a rare earth magnet. Now, this was one of the first ones that I did. My one on my truck, and this is the one I'm going to do a video on. I actually have about 4 feet of wire, all nicely wrapped, and 2 very powerful rare earth magnets. Because what you do is just say, let's just say this is the carcass. The magnet, see, it'll stick on, well, it's magnet to magnet, of course, but there we go. That'll be stuck onto the side of the tankless heater. And then all you do is you could just lean over and look, and it'll tell you what what's going on. Temperature, did it code out what code? People don't even need to be home. You do go by the relief valve, and you can check the past codes from the PC board. So you don't need to go inside the house. It is good to have the people home so you can go in there and fire up the unit. And then see, I just carry it in a separate bag, another VitaPro bag, and that's inside of my electronics bag here. So, okay. Now, I know you've watched and seen this before, and this is what I keep here in my shop, because I have 2 of them for my wood shop. But I've made these, and I have one of these on my truck. And as you can see, it's got one piece of wood here and 1 piece of wood here. So that helps with it locking into the table. And I use that the wall work table that you push the button, the legs pop out, and I have one on my truck. So this fits perfectly right in the corner. And then I have 2 more sides here, and then 2 sides open. And then I glued, you can get it at an automotive store. It's a padding that resists like oil and gas and stuff like that. And I just cut it to size, glued and nailed this down, put a bunch of weights on it, and 24 hours it glued up not so well. It pops up a little bit over here. But as you can see how much I've used it from cutting. And basically when this thing is here and you put something down, it just stays. It stays nice. You can work on it. It won't fall through the holes. It works perfectly. This thing, I love it. I love it. And it's so inexpensive to make. Okay, I carry a demagnetizer and a magnetizer. So basically you just run your screwdriver in here and it magnetizes the tip, and here it'll demagnetize the tip. I mean, I like keeping it magnetized, but you know, I just take this, I run it through here for a couple of seconds, and now my tip is magnetized. All right, I carry, and it's a Milwaukee set. It's an M4, M5, M6, M8, and M10. They're drill bit taps. And most of it is M4 and M5, occasional M6 I use. And that's the threads that are in the actual screws. So if I have to clean them out or drill them out and then retap it, these right here work the best. And then I carry a set of Milwaukee Picks. So it's a straight pick, a 45, a curved, and a 90. And that's all used to get like O-rings off and get the filters out. So, you understand where I'm getting at. And then, oh, here it is. This last screwdriver, which I forgot to show, is a Torx screwdriver. And it has 1.2 inch foot-pounds. Yeah, right? Well, yep, 1.2 inch foot-pounds. And what it does is it's like a Torx wrench, and at 1.2 inch foot-pounds, click, that's it, the screw is done. And that is, it's for, you know, the sheet metal screws going into one sheet metal piece into the other. That is what it's used for. And then my drill, and you know what drill I like, is the gyro activated DeWalt. And this one that I carry in this bag, which I'm actually going to switch onto my truck, is the one that's pivots. And you see there, it just, and then when you turn it, it's gyro activated. You can get it at Lowe's and Home Depot. Lowe's pretty much always has them in stock. All right, what else? Did I show everything? Yes, I think I did. Those are pretty much all the tools. And like I said, there's no fluff here. Everything is used. You know, I may not use every single screwdriver, but one of these screwdrivers is used. Like these micro screwdrivers. They're used, and to be honest with you, this is carried in my third bag in the truck. And that third bag is like something we would use every now and then. So this here, I mean, it still comes in with us because you never know, ooh, I need it. But that, you know, like I said, it's every few times. This bendable screwdriver, again. But the picks, this long screwdriver, the manometer, the heat gun, the Allen keys, they're all used. They're all used all the time. There's nothing, like I said, there's nothing here that's a waste. I put many years into, you know, knowing what tools. Oh, another thing. I keep one of these testers, the test outlets, just so I know right away if the outlet is live, and then I can put my meter in it and see if I got the proper voltage. I carry 1/4 and 5/16, and I also carry a unibit. There's a larger unibit, I think it's inside, a pen and marker, and a packet of large Post-its, or a piece of a small notepad, because you're going to need to take serial number down, model number down. You're going to need to, when you call and talk to tech, you need to take part number down, put multiple part numbers. You have to have an address to bring it to. And what I'll do is I'll show you when I build the other controller. I don't have them here, but I have an actual piece of paper that gives my case number, model number, part, and it's got a whole multitude of things on it that we made up. Okay, here they are. Now, I've had quite a few questions pertaining to this, and I'm going to mention this in the next quite a few videos, because one of the main things that you need with a tankless heater, and being a service person, you're going to need multiple of these, is these filters. If you go and service the unit, you're going to find that the filter might be jammed in there. You're going to need those picks. You're going to need that needle nose pliers to pull them out. They break. You can't reuse them. You need a filter to put back in. You got the housing. You got the O-ring. And you know from my videos that you pull off the filter when you service it, put the brush through it, clean it, put it in the bucket, put the plug with the O-ring back in to do your service. So you got the vinegar running through it at full force. The filter is not stopping the pressure going through the heat exchanger. When you're done, you take your plug out, you drain everything down, you clean this off, you put this back in, you lock it in, you put it in, turn it. Remember, you need those pliers is what you're going to just, and remember, this is just snugged. You don't have to go super, super, super tight and break it. All right, and there's a video on removal of this. But the question that I've had, I would say at least 30 questions, was people have found, hold on a second here. And no, I don't carry this big torch. People have found, now Rinnai doesn't put these out, but these people have found this filter. This is Rinnai's red filter. This is the standard filter. And this is their red filter. Exact same filter, exact same size. Brown, black, white, red. Look at how big the screen holes are here, and look how big the screen holes are here. What I want you to do is I want you to go back to my last video, how to service a CHS 199 Demand Duo. This filter is for that unit only. A CHS 199 Demand Duo. Not any other. Now, a CHS 199, on the older model, it was a C199. On the newer Sensei model is a CU199. That is the engine. That engine is mated to a 119-gallon storage tank with a pump, a control board, aquastats, sensors, wires, bells and whistles. Basically, the tankless, a pump circulates water through the tankless, turning on the water servo valve back into the tank, and then it's used for like a 30 or plus room hotel. We're just going to put it that way. It's going to take debris from the tank through the heat exchanger back into the tank. So you can have larger screen holes. These actually come in the C or the CU199, but nowadays you're only going to get a CU199. That's the black unit, the Sensei. You're going to get one of these. Now, now we have like 29 of those installed. The first, say, 14, a couple of them, we got calls, hey, the thing's not working. Get there, the green light's on, everything looks good, got power here, got power, beep, bada, 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 we're checking all this. Pull out this filter, it's clogged as Kelsey's burgers. Clean it up, put it in, turn everything on, boom, the thing fires. No water is passing this, getting into the water servo valve, turning that on, turning the tankless on. So I called Rinnai, Rinnai's like, oh yeah, well, we got these. And this is when they first came out with them. They sent me 12 of them. And now every Demand Duo that we do, and as you can see, if you look at the one, and that was a commercial restaurant, and it was the last one that we just did, we put this filter in, and what it does is it prevents it from getting clogged up and stopping the unit from operating. Now, on a commercial unit like that one, we go every 3 months. We go and service them. So we go, we pull out that filter, we put the vinegar or the descaler, we check the fan, we check the venturi, we check a bunch of stuff. It's not like doing a standard tankless. It's almost a 2-hour job to do it. So that's why that filter is only used for the CHS 199 Demand Duo. That is it. This is not to be put in any other tankless. A V, an RL, an RU, RUR, a boiler, nothing. This is the filter for that. Okay, now again, I'm going to be repeating this multiple times on all different videos, because you know some of these guys will like, they almost were going to put this in, oh, it's got a bigger thing, I won't have to clean. No. It's going to put a lot of bad stuff into the heat exchanger, and there's no place for it to go. Where in a Demand Duo, it goes through the heat exchanger and goes right into a 119-gallon tank. And when we go to service these, we also drain the bottom. There's a hose bib on the bottom. We take out, you know, 15, 20 gallons of water, flush out the bottom. So that is what it's for. Okay, last thing is literature. Now, on every unit, you're going to have an instruction manual. And then the unit, just say this instruction manual is for an RL75 and an RL94. Okay? Inside of the front door, you're going to get this paper. And I've showed it to you many a times. And it opens up to a big sheet of paper. And on one side, it has an exploded view of all the parts, and then a list of parts at the bottom. On this side, you have the controller, diagnostic codes, gas pressure setting, troubleshooting procedures, wire diagram, dip switch settings, altitude, if you want to set it to 140 and then to do lower flow. So this is inside of the front panel. Now, what you should do is collect one from every unit and keep it inside. Now, here I happen to have my stuff that I do my tech stuff with, but I have a folder and I keep one of every one of these instruction manual and one of every one of these in two separate folders. And then either my son or I would go and get this proper one if they, of course, if they don't have it inside and if we need it. And then you can see with the Post-its, see I write the most important parts and the numbers that I think would go bad on one of these units. And I have them on every single one of these. So it's easier for me to diagnose something and then give that person that part number. Okay? All right, I think I went over everything. So yes, you don't need to go running out and grabbing all these. This is what you should have. Milwaukee is just as good. Craftsman is good. You know, Sears stuff, Cobalt. That's, you know, it's all good stuff. I just, you know, as you know from what you see here in my wood shop, I'm a big tool nut, and I'm just used to the Weaver tools. I've had them for years. I've got Milwaukee on the truck too. You know, I have Milwaukee, so they're just as good. I just happen to like these to do the service on the Tanklesses. All right, YouTube, I hope you enjoyed this video. I have to say, man, do I appreciate those comments for the people that I've helped, or the people that just my videos have helped. Thank you very much. I mean, those comments are just unbelievable. From the bottom of my heart, I really greatly appreciate those comments. Again, send me an email. They'll be in the description below. You have a question, send me an email, and I will answer it via the email. It's better because some comments, again, I can't find them. So, and I don't want to leave you hanging, okay? All right, YouTube. Again, thank you all for the likes, the comments, the questions, the subscribes. Be safe out there, and I'll see you on the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.